everyone. Welcome to PyLadies Con 2023. And I am Yashasvi, your MC for this particular talk. So today we have with us Abigail Mesrenyame, who is a founder of Everything's Open Source, an initiative which highlights open source projects, communities, and personalities in Africa and beyond. In today's session, she's going to share her own journey on how did she get started into open source projects while she brought others into it. She'll be sharing here her experiences in navigating open source projects, overcoming contribution challenges, strategically building communities and embracing the discomfort throughout the process, and finding purpose and fulfillment in her contributions. Over to you, Abigail.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all from wherever you're joining us. It's always amazing to be given this opportunity to share with PyLadies all over the world. My name is Abigail Mesrenyame Dogbe, and I'm happy and pleased to be sharing on starting my career the open source way. I'm hoping that my story is going to inspire more people to keep contributing or to even start contributing to open source, especially through our community, which is PyLadies. This is just something about me. I am Ghanaian and I'm currently a researcher doing a graduate school at the University of Cincinnati, and of course, doing research in open source. Aside from that as well, I'm an open source programs manager. What it looks like is I enjoy brainstorming and coming up with programs that are open source focused. I'm also a community builder. I've contributed to communities like the Python Ghana community, PyLadies Ghana, PyData Ghana, Python Africa, and some other communities as well. When I'm not contributing to open source, I'm advocating for more girls in STEM. And I have this project where I bring together people or STEM professionals in my network, and then we make an impact to the lives of the upcoming generation of women or girls in STEM. So when I attend any conference or when I'm given the opportunity to speak, I love to bring something Ghanaian with me. As you can see, I have these cute and beautiful African earrings on, but one thing that is special about me being Ghanaian is my name. I also have another name called Abna, and what it means is I am a female who was born on a Tuesday. So most definitely, if you're interested in learning about what a Ghanaian name looks like for you, feel free to reach out to me and I can tell you what Ghanaian name you could have. Yeah, so a little bit about myself before I share more about things I have been up to and how open source has changed my life and helped me found purpose. So growing up, there were a lot of things that I really enjoyed doing, and there were a few things that I also didn't like. And then mathematics and computers were some of the things that I never liked. But I mean, going through like life, growing up, meeting women in tech, women in STEM and all of that, a lot of the times when I meet women or like when I meet people, usually their story is, I really loved computers growing up. I love to put things, electronics together. I love to, write codes and all of that. But this wasn't me. And it gives me a chance to also reflect on how far I have come, because in this day, using technology is extremely important. Learning how to even build technology is actually even a game changer, personally and then to the world. So I always like to share this aspect of myself and how I actually try to embrace some of these mathematical concepts and then computing concepts and then how far this has actually brought me. But then I really loved art. I still do love art, except that now I'm unable to do more art. But growing up, I really, really love art. I could draw on any paper that I find and all. And from time to time, I still go back to trying to draw something or trying to convey my thoughts through drawings and then like paintings. So I'll go on to share how my open source journey started and where it's going to. So in my journey actually started in 2017, where I heard about open source for the first time after my undergraduate study, studying a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Engineering. I heard about Django Girls and decided to become like a mentee. I learned, and after that, I was challenged to also share and bring others into the Django Girls community as well. So I started mentoring other people. I joined the Python Ghana community, and we would travel a lot to different towns and cities in Ghana, trying to bring more women into the space through Django Girls. And then in 2018, I became the lead for PyLadies Ghana. I did lots of travel again, both for Django Girls and PyLadies Ghana, introducing more people to Python concepts and then helping them also carve a career path for themselves. Now, around this time as well, I started learning more about the international PyLadies community and also started interacting more with people. And then in 2019, I became an organizer at PyCon Africa. I started contributing to PyLadies Global. Still did a lot of traveling for Django Girls events. And then in that very year as well, I became a fellow at the PSF, and I also did my first volunteering at PyCon US remotely. These experiences were really great, especially for someone who never liked computers and never liked mathematics. Throughout this time, I was trying to see what it looks like for me. And whilst I was trying to do that as well, I was bringing in more people. There were a lot of times I didn't really see a path, like a clear path. It was just really more of, let's do this. Let's try and bring in more people and see how it goes and how you can also benefit from it, right? So in 2020, I gave my first keynote at EuroPython. I won a community service award from the PSF, and I won a Google Open Source Peer Bonus Award as well. And I still continue as an organizer at PyCon Africa. It was the year that we all experienced COVID, and so we had that like virtually. It was a lot of work, but then it was very fulfilling. One thing to note though, personally and from home, my folks didn't really understand some of these things. And they didn't really understand why I would try and then go through the process of volunteering my time and like trying to bring in more people and all. There were times it was a bit difficult trying to explain to them. And I hoped that as time went on, they were going to understand, which they actually do now. And I'm actually really grateful for them and then how far they have also helped me in my journey. And throughout this journey as well, I I had what we call a 9 to 5 whilst doing all of this. And so I'm also very grateful for my employer, and particularly for my bosses then. They really encouraged me to keep giving, keep doing more, keep volunteering and all. And I understand and I know that it's not easy to actually be in an organization or in the midst of people who would encourage you to actually do more outside of your organization. So moving on from 2020, in 2021, I stepped down as a team lead for PyLadies Ghana, and this really happened after a lot of things, after a lot of meetups, after a lot of creation of different initiatives. By 2021, PyLadies Ghana had over like 7 different chapters scattered over different like regions and cities in Ghana. We had our PyLadies Data Science group, where we were teaching different data science concepts, of course, using Python. And we held boot camps that, invited, people all over, in fact, not only in Ghana, but all over the world, which were, very, very successful. We hosted cybersecurity sessions, even went on to host like masterclass sessions. Of course, focusing also on Python and how to use, Python for that as well. And my long-term goal for PyLadies Ghana wasn't to like lead and be there forever. Again, I'm going to reiterate this because I think it was something that I kept in my mind and my heart. Start something and then see how you can bring in other people and have them take charge of the work that we do, whilst also supporting them and all of that. So we started our first meetup, which happened in 2018. We started and we were close to 30 participants. And in 2021, we had grown so much and had like lots of initiatives and lots of people coming in to help. So I felt this was the time. And then also by then, we had like folks who had taken up a lot of leadership roles and positions. So it wasn't difficult stepping down or having other people like take a lot of things up with regards to like leadership. It was quite very easy. And I really appreciate folks who have helped us come like a long way or this far through with the community. So even though I stepped down as the team lead for PyLadies Ghana, I still do contribute as much as I can, because the goal wasn't to move away totally. The goal was to just have new people take up leadership roles and positions, which is actually one of the missions of PyLadies itself. So I've still been hanging around with PyLadies Ghana, speaking, brainstorming with the current team lead and coming up with programs and initiatives and all. That is also helping like advance the use of Python back home in Ghana. In 2021, I also started a STEM for Girls initiative where we are introducing more young girls to STEM. Now, in 2022, I started everything open source, which is basically me going beyond Python, going beyond coding, like the coding aspect of like open source, and then focusing on different things with regards to like the broader open source like community. That same year as well, I became an individual member at the DSF, and then I started grad school at the University of Cincinnati in the US, which actually led or helped kickstart my research journey. In 2023, I got my first paid open source internship, like working with the Python Software Foundation. Um, I've given like 3 keynotes and became also like an organizer at DjangoCon Africa, and I've participated in other open source communities such as PyData, Global, Sustain, the Apache Foundation, Chaos, and then some other open source communities. Now the journey still continues, right? Because I'm still on this journey where I'm discovering myself more, and I'm finding and I'm getting more closer and living in my purpose. So the journey hasn't been easy, I should say, especially because a lot of the times what we do in our open source communities is actually giving our time and effort. It's been actually hard to actually find paid open source roles. It's not that easy, but I believe that it's not a reason why people shouldn't like give their time to actually contribute to open source projects or communities. So in the next session, I'm going to share about some of the challenges that I faced. Probably also hoping that some of us, listening on this session might relate to some of the challenges and all. And I hope that we can also learn and then try and see how we can keep supporting ourselves. So this first session is on community challenges. Now, throughout the years, back home in Ghana and even in Africa as a whole, we've been trying to push the agenda of getting people started with learning Python, getting people started with discovering the different ways that they can use the Python programming language. But it's been actually hard to find opportunities when, like, after we introduce Python concepts to people. And this was really something that was a bother to me because you want people to explore Python and then also actually find opportunities that help them stay in the community. And so it was really challenging finding opportunities and having folks, especially junior developers who are just starting, to actually keep in that momentum and benefit from like the community that like they join, which is like PyLadies or PyData or all of our other Python communities. Now there's also the challenge of paid open source contributions. A lot of the times we rely on, people volunteering their time, their efforts and all of that. And there were times that I really wish that we had compensated people because it's actually a lot of work, especially from where I come from. Having the chance to have lived in the US for a year, I see the resources gap. Now, I've been in the US for a year now, and I have never had power cut. I have never had issues with my internet. Things are actually, I should say, like smoother than the experiences that I had back home. And back home in Ghana or even in some parts of like Africa, you want to contribute to open source, but you also want or need these other resources that is going to help you keep contributing, that is going to help you keep showing up for the community, and which is actually at the end of the day going to help you actually contribute to like the broader community and all. But we had challenges like with resources and then some of these things with regards to trying to or having to compensate people for their time and effort just so that they have the peace. They have the enabling environment to be able to like keep coming back to contribute. Another community challenge that like we faced was travel and visas. We've had folks from Africa, Ghana, find or get like international opportunities to travel and then give talks or contribute to the broader open source community. But this has actually been a huge issue. There's been so many times that you have to apply for visas and your visa gets denied, and sometimes you just have to keep on. And also because trying to connect and interact with folks in the international community is actually very important. And I see a lot of the times how our communities, our international communities, try to create an enabling environment to help bring in like people from these different areas to bond, and then for us to also keep learning from each other. But unfortunately for some of us, and due to where we come from, finding or having to apply for visas is a lot of work, and sometimes you get disappointment. Now, these are some of the personal challenges that I felt I faced as well. Work-life balance. A lot of the times I'm doing work from Monday to Friday, but I get to work around 6:30 a.m. I spend my morning trying to do some work for PyLadies Ghana. Then sometime in the afternoon when I have break, I want to check out what the next item is to work on. When I close from work as well, I want to check out what is up for the next day or the upcoming events that we are trying to plan for. And sometimes by the weekend, you're traveling to another city or town to teach others Python and all. And it was a lot, honestly. But it came with a lot of advantages as well. Then there's this imposter syndrome as well, which I'm sure a lot of us face. There was handling constant change and uncertainty as well. A lot of things changed throughout my journey to contributing to open source while bringing other people into it. There was a time I lost my job, but I had to keep waking up and contributing as much as I could. And I had to deal with all of these things as and when they kept coming in. Of course, a lot of the times I faced burnout as well, and also had the challenges of limited resources. Aside from the general community limited resources, I was doing a lot of things that I was doing without actually getting resources that was going to help me improve. Up until recent, I didn't even realize or know that there was a book for open source program managers. Now I'm getting the chance to actually own some of these resources, which is helping me a lot in my journey. So how did I overcome some of these challenges? Now, one of the ways was connecting with other PyLadies through PyLadies Global. One of the things that I mentioned earlier was limited resources and all. And this particular first point was a game changer for myself and then for my community. I started interacting with folks from PyLadies Global, and some of the things that I would do was to invite them to our community to share some technical talks, to share some personal talks. We've had Carol willing join us, like to share talks, and we've had like Lorena, we've had Marlene, and it's actually these moments, or those moments, were moments that I'm going to cherish for the rest of my life, because what this did for us was it really opened up opportunities for us. We also got to interact with other people all over the world, and also got to learn from their experiences and how they were also approaching community building and all of that. And the next point I would like to talk about is setting realistic expectations. Abigail loves to dream big. I am the one who would love to come up with crazy ideas, very huge ideas, and I want to implement them, like, at a go and all. But throughout my community building journey, I have realized and I've learned how to set realistic expectations, especially for those big dreams that like I've had, or those programs or initiatives that I had always wanted us to implement in our community. Another thing that's helped me overcome some of the challenges was embodying the mindset of bringing other people into leadership opportunities. As leaders in our community, it's actually extremely easy to want to do everything by ourselves. In fact, that was actually the case for me when PyLadies Ghana started. I started trying to do everything by myself and wanting to set some kind of brand, or some kind of some kind of way that like our community should, be able to open up to new or other people, and actually showing them how to contribute. But trying to have this mindset of bringing other people into leadership opportunities really helped. It really helped me also even take the bold decision of having to step down and see the community doing well on its own. Delegating tasks was also one of them. Prioritizing self-care as well, and then also feedback and retrospection. What I did, or what we do at PyLadies Ghana, is to try as much as we can to gather feedback after every event, and then also even after the end of every year. That also helps us like plan for the upcoming year, and then also know how to do better. Now, I really would love to thank these people who have helped me in my journey in finding or discovering myself and my purpose. Thank you, Carol, Amanda Kasari, Denny, Marietta, Georgie, Marlene, Lorena, I might have missed some other folks from this list, but I appreciate PyLadies so much. PyLadies gave me the opportunity to actually come out of my shell, to actually put myself out there, because there were a lot of times I never wanted to do that. Also because growing up, I was timid and all of that. But trying to connect with PyLadies Global, trying to start PyLadies Ghana has inspired me a lot. And I would see Marietta building bots for PyLadies Global, and I'm like, what? This is like really cool. What are you doing, Abigail? Right? It was really inspiring. And having Georgie reach out to find out how things are going, how she could help, and all of that was also really inspiring. Carol also speaking to PyLadies Ghana and chatting with her about my personal growth also was like really inspiring. I see what Denny is also doing, and it really inspires me. And I also see Marietta building bots for PyLadies Global, and I'm like, what? This is like really cool. What are you doing, Abigail? Right? It was really inspiring. And having Georgie reach out to find out how things are going, how she could help, and all of that was also really inspiring. Carol also speaking to PyLadies Ghana and chatting with her about my personal growth also was like really inspiring. I see what Denny is also doing, and It's really inspiring to me. Thank you all so much for everything that you keep doing for, our community. Marlene, we started PyCon Africa together, and Marlene would think about how we can bring the PyLadies Africa together and all. And I also handed over to Yanyama, who is handling PyLadies Ghana so well. Thank you all so much. I think this is the platform to appreciate you all for the work that you do. Thank you. Now, how has contributing to open source helped me? It has helped me develop resilience. It has helped me embrace discomfort. It has helped me in my personal growth as well. Few years ago, Abigail wouldn't want to even put together a few slides to speak to people about what she's even working on. I would prefer to push other people out there whilst I make things work at the background and all, because it was a huge discomfort for me. But contributing to open source, and especially a community like PyLadies, has really helped me embrace discomfort. Above all, it has really helped me find purpose. It has helped me find purpose in the sense that I know where I'm headed. I did a whole 4 years computer science and engineering, degree, and I still didn't know where I was headed until, I got introduced to the open source community, and now I'm conducting research, and I'm still brainstorming and coming up with ideas that will also help more people come into open source, and especially also using my experiences, my lived experiences, to try and see how we can bring in more people. So these are just a few things I'd love to share with folks. Dear community manager, pay attention to making a difference. The rewards and accolades will come. I know from experience and from also interacting with other people, they might, or leaders in our community, they might feel like they are not seen or their work is not really appreciated enough. What I would say is just keep paying attention to making a difference. Now, pay attention as well to community members who prefer no-code ways of contributing. In fact, it is always so easy to pay attention to all the coding ways of contributing to open source that we fail to actually see all those like no code ways of contributing to open source. Some of the things that we did or embraced at PyLadies Ghana was to bring in some folks who, some of them might have learned some coding, but didn't want to continue in that light of developing, technological products and all of that. So we're just interested in helping with social media posts, also helping with brainstorming on how we could go about interacting with people and all. I'm currently working with our French community, like members, to also do things around translation so that we can bring more people to open source through these other no-code contributions. If you're a community manager as well, actively listen to the concerns and suggestions of your community members. It's actually important, and I believe that if you're struggling to actually even come up with events or initiatives for your community, one big way to achieve that is to actively listen to the needs of your community members. Also, if you're a community member, offer assistance, actively participate and promote community initiatives, appreciate your leaders, and then also participate in decision making. These activities help us grow personally, and then also it causes a ripple effect in the broader community. Now, I would definitely love to do more at everything open source, at the PSF, It's the Girls in STEM project, and I'm also coming up with an initiative called Books for Techies, where definitely are able to provide books or resources like in the form of books to people just starting out their career in technology. I would really love to do more, and I'm open to anyone interested in talking about how we can bring more people into open source and other fields as well. This is a quote or something that I've kept in my heart throughout my journey in contributing to open source. We rise by lifting others. I believe that I'm a perfect or a huge example for this. Started out being someone who never liked computers, mathematics, and all of that, but I still found a way to be here whilst also bringing in other people. So if there's one thing that you take out from this talk is this quote here: we rise by lifting others. And I believe that if you implement this or try to even give this a shot, I believe and I'm definite that you're going to see a huge change, and we are also going to end up succeeding as a whole and as a broader community. So I believe that the future is open, and in order to achieve this, because open source helps us build technologies and help us make life easier for people through technology. I believe that we need the people that is going to help us envision this future. And so I ask you, how are you helping? How are you contributing in your own way to bring other people into open source while you are also at it? I would definitely love to connect with all of you, and thank you for this opportunity to be able to share my experiences, my journey, and I know that and hope that it inspires you to do more. Thank you.
Wow, that was a wonderful session, Abigail. Thank you so much for inspiring all of us to be a part of open source and getting started with this. Your journey has been truly an inspiration to a lot of people here. And yeah, any questions if we have from the audience? So, okay, we have a question here. If you could do it all over again, how would you do it differently?
This is actually a good question because I have been reflecting on this, and I feel like being shy, being timid, I lost a lot of opportunities by being in that box. So doing it differently, what I'm definitely going to do is to embrace all of these things, like all of these like difficulties. For example, I mentioned in my talk earlier about how I could get opportunities, but then try to push in other people. Now, it's not to say that is actually not a good thing, but what I've also realized is a lot of the times too, the more you do it yourself as a leader, you are able to also inspire other people that they could also do it. And it really helps, to be honest. So if I were to do it over like again, I am definitely going to take up those opportunities. Because a lot of the times when I reflect, I feel so bad and sad. But I think that the consolation I get from that is, hey, you were able to bring other people into open source as well, even though you were shy and timid and all of that and wanted other people to be at the forefront. But yeah, I'm definitely going to do away with being shy and trying to find out ways I could also do away with things like imposter syndrome and all of that, and encouraging myself that I really belong and um, I really am capable of anything that I put my mind to.
Sure. I mean, that's an advice that everybody here, I mean, everyone has lost on some opportunities by just self-rejecting themselves, thinking that we are not capable of it while we should have gone for it. But yeah. So, we have one more question. Like, what kept you going through all these challenges in your open source journey?
This is this is a great question. I believe that at the core, it was just also personal, like drive, and also trying to find where I belong or where I fit in terms of career wise. I think that it was one of the huge things that kept me going. And like I also mentioned earlier, trying to connect as well with other people from the broader PyLadies community also really helped, because then I got to see what other people were doing, and I got to bring them in to also teach us some of the things that like they were doing and what it looked like out there, and how they were also trying to navigate um, trying to contribute to their communities while also being at it in their day jobs or in their 9 to 5s and all of that. So a lot of sensitizing my mind or myself through trying to find my purpose, and then also interacting more with folks from our community. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I think we are on time, and thank you for this wonderful session, Abigail. You have inspired each one of us here, and hope to see you again soon.
Thank you so much.